Hi, everybody. Dacob here. Welcome back to the Fashion Bunker. We just made a topic about taking back the power in our hands as a consumer, also as a worker of the corporations. And the best way to do it, we vote with our money. Our wallets are the tune of the music to which the corporations sing and dance for us, not the other way around. Always remember that. And in fact, it would appear as though our wallets have been starting to speak and sing. Oh, yes, honey, because I have here the Rob report reporting slowing demand for luxury goods. Listen to this, Linda. Causes industry execs to lose $24 billion. Oh my. How deep have we fallen? Well, let's touch base on this article and see who is the loser. Well, they're still billionaires. Let's not be fooled about this, but interesting in which direction the wind has turned at the moment. But before we get to it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Push the join button next to the subscription button. Become a member today. Gain access to extra perks. You can also join me on Patreon, superdacob, all spelled together there as well for extra perks. This video is being filmed live in front of a live virtual audience. I live stream several times a week. So come join the fun, come join the chats. Everything I say in this video is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's alleged and just my opinion. Ale. Let me blend in Mr. Bernard Arnault. Oh, look at a little flirty pose. Look at Mr. Bernard Arnault, flirty, flirty, flirty. Yeah. So anyway, this gentleman owns LVMH. Huge conglomerate, baby. Luxury, honey. And he was kind of, for a certain period of time, the richest man in the world, allegedly. Richest man in the world. Oh, Bernie. Bernie, Bernie, Bernie. Listen, Linda. According to this article, he lost a ton of money this year because, well, people aren't buying Louis Vuitton anymore. And also, people are not buying so much champagne anymore. What do they say? They say LVMH founder has seen his net worth plummet this year, part of a larger downturn in the luxury market that has caused billionaires in the field to lose a collective of $24 billion in 2024 so far. And by the way, 2024 so far has only seen 2 quarters. You know, the first 3 months or the first 6 months of the year have passed. So thus far, that means these first 6 months of 2024, they have lost $24 billion. We still have half a year to go. Oh, quel dommage. So anyway, Bloomberg reported that on Tuesday. Now, Arnault himself is down $10.8 billion to date in this year, with his wealth sitting at $197 billion. Oh, I feel so sad for him. Like I said in some other video, we should start a GoFundMe to help Bernie get back to $200 billion. Poor guy. He's now sitting at $197 billion net worth. I think we, the poor, should all help him out. You know, we should all contribute. We should all start a GoFundMe to try to raise $2 billion or $3 billion to help Bernard get back to 200 billion. I think it's just fair. I think it's just fair that a billionaire remains a billionaire. You understand? Yeah, he's now behind Elon Musk. Oh, because he's at 197 billion. Elon Musk is at $270 billion, and Jeff Bezos is at $215 billion on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index. Interesting, isn't it? And along with Arnault, luxury world billionaires such as Françoise Bettencourt-Mayer and François-Henri Pinault have seen their fortunes tumble as well. At the end of last year, Bettencourt-Mayer, or Mayers, whatever you pronounce it, became the first woman worth $100 billion but her net worth now sits at $89.9 billion. Another GoFundMe I think we should start. And Pinot has seen his wealth cut in half over the past 3 years. I mean, his wealth cut in half over the past 3 years. Cha. Bloomberg noted, as it's now at $27.6 billion. In total, the 6 people on Bloomberg's ranking who have made their money in luxury goods have seen their cumulative wealth drop by 5% this year alone. The rest of the 500-person group, however, has seen their net worth rise an impressive 13%, or $1 trillion. Yes, you guys, we are no longer in the billion range. We are in the trillion range. So all of the billionaires, in other words, that have been dealing with luxury fashion and design of sorts, they have lost money. Or, well, they're not earning as much as they used to during the pandemic. Let's just put it that way. While the other billionaires that are working in the car industry, probably pharmaceuticals, warfare, they have risen their increase together to a trillion amount, $1 trillion. And the gulf between the two groups hasn't been so big since May 2022, the outlet noted. So we have the 500-person group of the billionaires. Some of them are sinking, some of them are rising, and then there's nothing in between, and then there's the rest of the world. The rest of the world, which is the 99%. So these billionaires are the 1%. Okay. The 99% together, the entire 99% of humanity together, when you add up whatever poverty everybody has, it doesn't add up to the amount that these 500 people have. Okay? So there's how many people on this planet? 8 billion? 9 billion people on this planet? 9 billion people on this planet. 500 of them together own more than the rest 8 billion, 500 million, blah, 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 blah. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. So anyway, the article also says the drop-off in this wealth is a sign of the overwhelmingly choppy waters that the luxury world finds itself in right now. Many brands are struggling, with Arnaud's LVMH reporting slower sales growth in fashion and leather goods in the first quarter of 2024. That's what Bloomberg wrote. And Bettencourt Mayer's L'Oréal, meanwhile, is experiencing a slowdown around the world and at different price points. The company oversees its namesake brand as well as labels like Lancôme and Yves Saint Laurent for perfumes and beauty. And Pinot's Kering said, so YSL Beauty falls under Bettencourt or L'Oréal, while Saint Laurent Fashion falls under Pinot Kering. A little bit complicated, but that's how it is. Kering said earlier this year that it's expecting profits to drop in the first half of 2024. Not only did their profits drop, but they started dropping their prices as well. Oopsie. Interesting, right? LVMH, L'Oréal, and the other groups are set to release their earning reports later this month because the second quarter of the year has passed. So they have their shareholders to answer to. So they have to make their financial reports because they are public companies. So we're going to see these numbers trickling in very, very soon. And we're going to see how well or bad they've been doing in the second quarter of 2024. Very interesting. But the season got off to a less than stellar start, with Burberry replacing its CEO in response to a profit warning, and Swatch noting a downturn in sales and profits. Consumers aren't spending as much as they used to on luxury goods, and the billionaires are feeling the effects in their own pocketbooks. Isn't that something? And to that effect, they've also counted a lot on China. And I also wanted to talk to you quickly about the Chinese situation at the moment, because a lot of these luxury brands have been really counting on the Chinese market and Chinese population that has seen a boom in economy to really save them. So, and during the lockdown years, where nobody could really travel, everybody was kind of stuck in their own countries, buying whatever they could or would or should not, but still coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And the Chinese have been in lockdown for a longer time. And so a lot of the spending was happening in their own country. And a lot of the European or American luxury brands would open up a ton of boutiques, would expand their businesses in China. They were making a lot of money there. It all stopped. On one end, China started promoting more and more its own internal luxury products, which started selling more and more and more. But then the second the lockdown stopped, people started traveling abroad again, purchasing outside of China. So the luxury brands that were selling in China saw a fall from grace. And then Japan kicked in. And Japan arrived to the market with, well, it's still speculative. Everything I say in this video, of course, is for entertainment purposes only, not rooted in truths or facts. Everything's a legend, just my opinion. But people are speculating and saying, Japan might have purposefully pushed down the value of the yen in order to amp up tourism, to bring in people to travel back into the country, to bring in more money, because they were on lockdown for the longest time. And with the yen being so devalued, the prices are amazing. Shopping in Japan is incredible. In fact, their numbers of tourists, both from America but also China, have skyrocketed. And a lot of the Chinese people are shopping in Japan at the moment, currently not really in China. But so the luxury brands that are investing in China heavily since years now are seeing such a tremendous drop in earnings that brands like Marc Jacobs, Hugo Boss, Burberry, they are like selling their stuff now at 50+% sales. Apparently, Marc Jacobs is even on Alibaba in China, selling the stuff for like 50+% off. It's critical. The situation is critical. We are at a point where it's critical. They've invested a lot in China, and China is like not giving them the money. Plus, you know what happened in China? The Chinese government just recently started this entire campaign to shame people living in China or Chinese citizens from China that are living in China that are showing off wealth, especially wealth that is in connection to the Western world. So several Instagram accounts from very, very popular, famous, with millions of followers, content creators and influencers from China, their Instagram accounts have been deleted and they have been publicly shamed. So there's this whole tendency right now in China of kind of taking several steps back, and people are not so quick anymore to binge on luxury and show off luxury as they used to be a couple of years ago. So a lot of the luxury brands that have been investing heavily in China have been counting on the Chinese market to kind of save them from this incoming recession and whatever they thought was going to be recession after the lockdown years. Because let's face it, I mean, the luxury brands knew that after lockdowns would be lifted, people would start spending their money also on traveling and on other goods and not just luxury goods like bags, wallets, and clothes, right? They were expecting that drop, but they were hoping to dampen that fall by kind of saving themselves thanks to the Chinese clients, which seem to not really care that much at the moment. Very, very interesting. So here we are, waiting for the numbers to trickle in from the end of the second quarter, fiscal quarter of 2024, to see how the publicly owned luxury brands are going to report to their shareholders from the stock market the earnings or lack thereof. Are we going to see more brands like Burberry firing their CEOs, just like Burberry fired their CEO? Or are we going to also see brands starting to point fingers at their artistic directors, Looking at you, Daniel Lee. I'm really, really dying to see how this plays out. It's like the best telenovela ever, isn't it? So, anyway, what have you been shopping for lately? Let me know down below. And what are your thoughts on this whole sitch? Thumb up this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, and until next time, never forget to never give up on love. Bye.